Why, hello. Good morning, everyone. Good to see you. Sorry, that's so loud. Paul Tranny here. Gonna dive into the daily creative challenges for Photoshop for the next 2 weeks. So thank you so much for that, Michelle. I'm so happy you guys are here. I'm happy to be here. I'm happy to be hosting. I'm just so excited. I'm way too excited. It makes no sense, but that's me typically. So I want to welcome Nikita. Good to have you here, Nick. Bliss. Big thank you to Kyle Webster on his brush hours. Awesome. Did it cut off my intro? Maybe it did. It might have. Either way, I'm getting, this is day one. So Jan, good to see you. Sean, Keen as well. Jennifer, I see everybody rolling in. Good to have you here. Chris Olson, awesome. Rosie Watson, Jane Bradbury, just a bunch of fun names that I get to, you guys are basically my coworkers. So this is all about Photoshop Daily Creative Challenges, learning everything you can and just like squeezing everything we can out of Photoshop. If you're new, even if you're advanced, I hope to have something for everyone, just so you know. So, way excited. All right, so let's just kind of share my screen first off. Because if you ever get lost, first off, you guys are probably watching. If you're watching me elsewhere, jump to behance.net/live. And just keep this URL in mind. Bookmark it, right? behance.net/challenge/Photoshop. That's what I like to do. This is where everything is going to live. Okay, so these are the 9 challenges. Today is just like our warm-up day, sort of get familiar with Photoshop, set yourself up for success in Photoshop is the goal. So that's the plan here. So just kind of keep this URL in mind. You can probably paste it into chat. Hopefully that gets approved. Thank you so much, Sam. Cool. So that's where everything's going to appear right here. But essentially, it's like this. Each day, you're going to receive a challenge. You're going to join community chat, which is going to happen through Discord. And make sure you watch the daily live show to get started, ask questions, all that fun stuff. Make sure you share your feedback. And that goes back to this one, join community chat. So yeah, that's the short of it. Get involved every day, make something cool, impress your friends and your neighbors, have fun, right? And again, it's not, a lot of times it's not really even what you create, it's just like having fun creating is the goal, because you spend a lot more time creating than you do viewing the finished piece. So I want to point out, of course, the Discord channel as well. We'll just switch over to that. Mingo, you can see it above my head. The bit.ly is right here. So bit.ly/PS Discord, right? That's where I'll jump to right now, because it will probably ask you for your name. And then you gotta say, hey, you know what? Here's my name, so you know what to use. But here, back on my desktop, here we are in Discord. The Photoshop Discord. There's Discords for the different apps. Just keep that in mind. I'm in Photoshop. Of course, you can read how to Discord, all that fun stuff. But this is full of a plethora of things. But the cool thing is, you don't necessarily have to go to that URL every single time. I like the URL because it has the video. It has the link to the files. Right? If you go to Discord, you have all of that stuff as well. So you're going to have the creative challenge, right? And it will appear right in here. So that's the short of it. Oh, Bernadette, it's been a while since you joined us live. That's why you get serenaded. I'm going to stick to graphics, just so you know. But yeah, so kind of dive in here. Pro tips, inspiration, new in Photoshop, how to Discord, all that fun stuff. But again, you want to get involved with the challenge. That's where you do it right here. Create what you want and post to the challenge tab. And that's what I'm going to do in Photoshop right now. So we know what links to go to, and now we can go ahead and launch Photoshop. Keep in mind, I'm going to be using the latest version of Photoshop. And what's cool about the next 2 weeks is I'm going to be reviewing like a lot of the new features and getting a chance to dive deep into them, which I think is really fun, right? So Photoshop version 23, just go to all apps or updates, but just make sure this says open, or if it says update, then obviously update it and then launch Photoshop. Cool. Peter Bax is in the house. In 25 minutes, Paul will do challenge 1 through 7. Yes, please. Can I do that? File new, right? So we'll start with our new document. We're just going to make a simple header for our Behance page because that's what I like to do, and it's just a good introduction to Photoshop. Okay, so right up here, typically you get the width, the height, you know, you can type in whatever you want there. I'll typically do like 1,000 pixels by, say, 500 or 500 pixels. So something like that is the idea. Okay, and I'll just make it 72 DPI, right? All this stuff you could change because as soon as I click create, here it is. But we could always go into image, down to image size and change that at any time. Stop chirping at me. Whatever app is chirping at me. So anyways, Andreas, hey Wade, I'm so glad so many people are here. So good to see you. And again, I want to kind of dive into some pro tips and different things like that. Really, you can do whatever you want. In fact, I'll do some fun hacks. Why not? It's not really a hack, but here you could, I'm going to show you free resources. That's what I'm going to do. First off, just so you know, I've been using stock.adobe.com. I've been going to the free assets here. So go to, it actually defaults to free, but I've been doing so much of my work through just grabbing free assets. So right in here, we'll do, you know, since it is kind of the fall into winter, it's like November. Is November fall? Leaves. I don't know. Is it fall? Is it winter? Right? We get a number of images right in here. So what's cool is as you roll over them, it's going to say free. So you can use whatever images you want, okay? From here, but not to worry. That's actually, this is where I got a lot of my assets. So each day, although all Adobe was free for you. Yes, since I work for Adobe, I do get some free stuff, which is so nice. And I sometimes take for granted how fortunate I am. But not to, you know, that's where you can get free assets. I'm also going to have free assets for you every single day, just so you know. Here's a quick preview, as you can see, right? But again, all I did is download that particular file. So give me a second. There it is. Here's my stock asset that I just downloaded. I won't open that up. There it is. Cool. So anyways, I've been having a lot of fun with that. So Ferry, Marsha, Carol, noticing lots of familiar faces, which I'm so good to see you guys. Just so you know, you can use Adobe Stock, or you can actually sort of optimize Photoshop with plugins as well. So you can see all these plugins that I have: Color Designer, Dropbox Transfer, right? I use Free Stock Search 2 Pro, the Pro version. You know, I'm just trying to support the community. I bought the full version. Now I got to enter in my email address so everybody can see it. Feel free to send me an email. But as you can see, I could go ahead and jump in and I can say fall. Let's just go leaves. And we'll search right in here. So what this does, this searches on a bunch of sort of free sites like Pixabay, Unsplash, and the like. So you have multiple resources. You can go ahead and grab images here as well. So that's what I'll do. Just click right there, open up this image, and I could decide to use this image as well. Right, so hopefully that makes sense. Use Free Stock Search Pro. Get some plugins. Since this is day one, I wanted to still have something for my friend Rocky is in the house, everybody. Good to see you, man. Let's browse plugins, by the way, just so you know where to get those. Guess what? It's back out here where you updated Photoshop. So feel free to sort just by Photoshop, grab what you want, right, and use it. So that's the idea. Here's Free Stock Search 2. There's a couple of stock search plugins, but again, I like how I could do it directly from good old Photoshop. So that's awesome. It's good to have you guys here, huh? I need to slow down, say thank you for joining me. Let's talk about day one's about like making a header, sure, but still optimizing Photoshop, okay? So we want to just like make sure I'm going to be using keyboard shortcuts. Let me open up a more complex file. Let's open up this one, okay? Ew, this is what I was working on over the weekend. Yes, it has skulls and flowers in it. Deal with it. I don't know what to tell you. I am who I am, right? But the thing is like, I can't really tell. Let's actually change this. This is the one thing I do, and we'll just like optimize our layer panel first. So off to the side, I really can't tell what's on each one of these layers. I can't really see it. Luckily, it says branch. I have no idea what branch that is, and it looks very complex. Flowers? I think there's flowers on this layer. So that's when you want to go to your flyout menu right here. Scroll down, wait for it, to panel options. Can we see what plugins are? Nothing. Oh, there we go. Ooh, highlight it, click. Change this to layer bounds. And then you can always adjust the thumbnail size. But Rocky, I don't know how you have yours set up, or Steve, how do you guys have yours set up? Do you have the smallest thumbnail? Do you have medium-sized thumbnail? I usually turn off all this stuff because I don't like, after I've applied an effect, I don't need to expand it to see it. Like, don't show me it. Don't add copy to everything, right? So this is just kind of how I have this set up. I'll click OK, and now you can see off to the side, I can actually see things, right? I can see, okay, it's that type of flower, on and on. You get the idea. Okay. Oh, good. Go big, never go home. And by the way, things get awfully complex. I just love Photoshop, right? Things will get complex. We're not going to get this. This is where we kind of like want to end up after 2 weeks, is creating something pretty complex, right? But we could easily bounce around this because not only did I find this branch, I still don't know what branch it is. Well, if I hold down the Option key and click, it'll zoom right to that branch. Option key, click on the thumbnail, it jumps to that graphic on the canvas. Click again, it's jumping around to these different branches. Okay, so that's what's happening here. I can jump around to the different flowers. Oh, that makes so much more sense. Another thing you can do, and this is how we used to do things, I feel, to find a branch, I used to show, hold down the Option key and then click on the eyeball. Okay, the layer visibility. What this does is it turns things on and off, right? If you hold down the Option key and click, it'll turn everything else off, keeping that one on, right? So that's the Option key or the Alt key on PC. Okay, so that's the old school way of finding things. That still works, but I like clicking on the Option key in the thumbnail, or holding down the Option key and clicking on the thumbnail. You get the idea. So again, just trying to optimize the layers panel and Photoshop as a whole for what we are doing. I want to welcome Rick H. Rick, you're never late to the party. You are right on time. Wherever you're at in life, you are right on time. Right, we'll go into our preferences for Photoshop. We could play with this as well. Interface, right, adjust accordingly, make it darker, make it lighter. Hold down the Shift option and you can make that toast. I show that a lot. Make it coffee as well. So yeah, Photoshop will serve you breakfast basically. If you want to have a latte, there you go. Okay, that's just Shift and Command as you click, and it'll change to those icons. Just showing you some Easter eggs. Okay, I like mine more of mine's more of a cappuccino. I like the cappuccino interface, right? Because it's this one here. It's not quite espresso, right? It's definitely not your, I don't know what that middle one would be, but the lightest one would be a latte. All right, so let's move on from this, okay? Again, just navigating around a file, setting up preferences as well. If you build things that are really, let's click down, performance. If you do things with lots of stacked layers, then you can go into performance and do web/UI design. This means it's something that's going to have lots of layers, right? And might not be that big of a file dimension-wise. If you're doing lots of photos, click on that one. And that modifies your history states, your cache levels, and the cache tile size. So that's all I typically point out. Boom, boom. For you pros out there, if you want to get into technology previews, there's that as well. Okay. All right. All right. So let's move on. We did it. We have our file that I was looking at. Let's make our fun banner now. Okay. So we learned where to get free files, which is going to be out on stock.adobe.com/free. You can grab an image if you want to. Right, I'm going to copy it, and I'm just going to go to this untitled document, and I can paste it in, right? So this is what happens usually when you paste in a file, you know, it's going to be on this sort of layer 1, right? It's awfully big. We want to change that size. We'll go to Edit, down to Transform. We'll do a free transform on it, okay? Edit, free transform, bingo, and then we can shrink it down. And there are shortcuts around this, but you shrink it down. If you have something very large that you've pasted in like this, Michelle, you probably know this, maybe you don't, but I could do Command 0, and as long as your layer is selected with that transform on it, it will zoom out, so you can actually grab that edge and move it into place and shrink it up how you want it, like that. Okay? So that's all I'm doing there, right? I have that in place. I'm using the Command key plus and minus to zoom in, to zoom out. Command 0 fills my space, my workspace with the image. Oh, good. Thank you. Thank you. Michelle did not know that. Another thing I do is I do a Command T. So you're going to be using shortcuts. Of course, we know Command T, right? You do a Command T or you go to Free Transform. Right up here at the top, for any of the tools that you have selected, you're going to get options for it right up here. So if you know you need something at, half the size, you can drop this down to, say, 50%, which is all I'm doing right here. Okay? So those are your options for whatever you have selected. Cool. Okay, cool. All right, so here we have this. Let's add some text. We're going to add some text right in here. We're going to select the text tool, which is, I think, the #1 used tool, probably second used, most popular tool in Photoshop, behind the Move tool. We can click, and we can type in Photoshop. I'm not even sure how I want to format this yet. It's awfully large. Actually, it's pretty large right now. I'm going to select everything here, and I'm going to take this down to about 50 point, like that. Photoshop, Daily, Creative, Challenge. Like that. Again, this is where I just kind of do some of the formatting to try to figure out how I want to lay this out, right? Which is our, common designer problems. How do I lay this out to make it look good? Do I take this and put it on another line, right? But you can see what this does. It adds this text layer, okay? Welcome, everybody. I'm going to have some fun with this. I might flip it and reverse it and do all sorts of fun things. Let's just have some fun, right? Let's actually put text on 2 separate lines. So that's what I'm doing. On one line, it's going to say Photoshop. On the second line, it's going to say Daily Creative Challenge. Maybe I'll resize this. The great thing is when I resize text, right, it's going to keep that resolution. But let's do something like this. All right. It's not bad. It's okay. Checking the time. I got 5 minutes. Let's have some fun with this. Okay, so check this out. This is one thing we can do. See, for this layer 1, I know this is going to get maybe kind of complex, but I could call this a day. I could take this, let me just knock out one design. I'll go to canvas size. So this here we have image size. That's going to change the dimensions. I could scrunch it up, or I could do canvas size, which is just we're going to make this like 200 pixels high and 1,000 pixels wide. So that's more like what I want. I usually start with a larger canvas, and then I can shrink it down into place, something like this, right? I could call it a day right here just by moving this around. We can call this done. But I'm going to get more advanced here in a second, and we'll just call this banner or title or whatever. Once we've exported out the PSD, and that's what I did. I saved the PSD. It's already day 1, and I might be losing people, I'm realizing. I just did a file save. Okay? I saved this to my desktop as a banner PSD. This is my source file, my Photoshop document. If you don't have this sort of layout, it might have something like this. You might see Save to Creative Cloud. This also works just fine. So this will actually live in the cloud, which works just as easily, but it's not going to be on your desktop, right? When you want to find it again, you got to go to File, Open, and then rather going into your desktop, you got to open Cloud Documents, and that's where you'll locate your file. So those are your two source files: a Photoshop document, your PSD, and let's just do this again actually as a cloud document. And this is your PSD-C, right? So this is a cloud document. It's always being saved, all that good stuff. Okay. I'm also reading chat. If you guys have any questions, let me know. So this actually lives out in the cloud. What you can do right up here, since it's a PSD-C, I can right click on it and I can say, hey, reveal in the on the web, right? Because that's where it lives. It lives out on the interwebs, and we'll see it pop up right. Oh, as I'm logged in as 2 different people. Ignore this, but it will appear in your browser. Okay? Cool. All right, from here, guys, I'm going to do this really fast. Oh, cloud is not big enough for your project. Yeah, Sean, real world problem, man. I get you. So here we could go to File, Export, and I'm just going to do a quick export as JPEG, or you can do export as. Whatever it says there, it might say ping for you, but here's where we'll just export it as, see off to the side, a JPEG. So we could pick our format over here. We'll just export it as a JPEG to our desktop. We'll call it banner, just like that. Boom. I want to get more advanced with this. So from there, you can, and what we're going to do every day is we're going to upload to Discord, and we could actually make this as part of our Behance project. So here's challenge. We're saying day 1 warm up. That's all this is. It's a day 1 warm up. We'll grab this graphic, this JPEG, bring it in here, and then upload it. So that's where that is going. That's going in challenge, Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. Now I get to have fun. Since I have 3 minutes, this is so exciting. All right, let's take this. Command J to jump a layer. Let's go to select focus area. Select just the focus area. So it's going to actually focus on, it's just going to select what is in focus, right? So this is, again, a feature that's pretty cool. It does it all for me, so it kind of selects that. It did an okay job. I think it's fine. I can give it more or less range to focus in on. That's what this slider does. So it's grabbing more and less. We'll click OK. We'll call that a day. It just masks that out, right? So now I can create a fun little layer sandwich. I can take these 2, maybe drop them back there, and now we have these leaves kind of in front of the text. It's just kind of fun to do it, right? Last thing I'm going to do, just because I can't stand how boring this is, let's go to gradient map. This is just meant to get you excited about Photoshop and things. We can go like electric and I'm just playing. Maybe this is the wrong way to go with this. Yes, it is. Fail. Let's move on. Oh, life. I still got a whole minute. That's an eternity. Let's throw a gradient over the top and let's play with blend modes on top of it. So I'll go down to like overlay, and that makes it maybe look a little bit more interesting. But that's all I'm doing, is trying out some different blend modes and layers on top of it. So that's all. Again, things could get ugly. They could start to look nice. Either way, I'll just do a quick export as JPEG out to my desktop. And now I have that new version that I've exported out. Cool. In the end, what you want to do is you want to create a project. So after you've participated in the daily creative challenges, all of them, as many as you want, turn it into a project on Behance. So grab that banner. Actually, will that work if I just drop it in? Anyways, let's grab that banner. There we are, Photoshop Daily Creative Challenge. And right here, I could even just save this as a draft until I'm ready to go. But this is just my header, and then beneath that, Daily Creative Challenge that ran, November 2021 with Paul Tranny, the hack of all hacks. And all he does is use skulls. He's scaring me. Is he okay in the head? Thanks so much, everybody. Appreciate you guys. Make sure you get involved and join me tomorrow as we dive into our first project, which is right out here. So I'm so excited for this, guys. I'm going to calm down. Oh, I need to chill out, but I'm so excited for this. So excited. Thanks so much. We'll see you soon, guys.